Oh. She's really understaffed.
Okay. All right. Great. Good job. All right. We're gonna switch gears into another game. So just really quickly, what does this game make you think of? Anything? Follow the leader. Okay.
Like follow the leader. Even it's faster to change the group. Don't have the leader.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So with one person that you should be watching, you know exactly what to do. But without one person, it's much more complicated. You and then.
I noticed something interesting. I saw Natalie and then right away, like looking at the and then right away, it was like.
What are you?
So like
That's good.
So being at a place where people can see you, where they can see what you're doing, giving them opportunity to follow what you're doing.
I saw them stopping and doing this, and for some reason nobody did it. And I was thinking that if everybody do it, then he's automatically gonna know that it's done.
That's
So it's kind of like a good deal.
happen.
Yeah.
Because he was right in front of them, and he did it, and nobody got it.
Nice fake out. So the thing that brings up for me is that leadership, being a leader is high risk, right? We had someone watching specifically for the leader, who's leader, pick them out. And the group was trying to figure out how we can protect that person. But it's an interesting thing when when you make a big move, you might be walking and then somebody do this, and you're the first person to do it. That's a high risk action.
Because I was thinking about maybe I should do that too. I'm trying to. I'm already carrying in the sound. Yes. Yeah, I actually.
Yeah. And how was it like when? How did it go when there was no leader? Like, were there any moments where I tried to start doing something but nobody saw me and someone else started doing something too and someone saw me? How'd that go? How'd you negotiate that? How'd you decide who to follow? The majority.
I don't cooperate very well. I have like 2 options. I might
Were you gonna say
something.
I just said I'll just look at the process
I've got information. Medical
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah.
I realized
And
that
I've got
it's
to
really fast.
you have do it again.
I would, off of that too, like,
information in
trying to relate it to being a leader, I think, not forgetting all the tools in your toolkit. And when we went from snapping, and then suddenly we were doing like something vocal too, and I was like, oh, right, that's a whole other thing. I totally forgot that was a possibility. I think it was Dale. Like trying to push it. But, oh yeah, like, not, I guess, kind of forget all the typical things you have.
Any final comments? Just your hand up?
More than 3 weeks.
Okay. Cool. All right, we're gonna move on to the next game. We're gonna do it pretty quickly. How many people do we have who are playing? I see some people are sitting down, which is totally fine. But can you just raise your hand if you're gonna be in this exercise? If you're sitting down, then you're also gonna be in the exercise.
No, I still have
one aspect is that in Hostos.
Okay, it's like 19 people, I think. All right, so here's what we're gonna do. You can put your hands down. I'm gonna give you instructions, and you're gonna follow them. All right, so so the first instruction is to get into groups of 5. Groups of 5?
It's really hard over there. I'm not gonna lie to you. Especially by the major it's very complicated. It's very simple.
Are there any people who are extra in the group of 5? Is there like, if someone's looking for a group? Okay, so you can just join us. Okay. All right, so in your group of 5, I want you to, as silently as possible, join hands with your partners and make the shape of a triangle. Triangle.
Get it done over there.
No, I mean, what is your gap?
Stretch your hand. That arm.
Alright, so I know that you're done when you are completely still. When your group is completely still, I know that you're finished.
Yeah.
It's like, you're the base.
Alright, you guys are done? Triangle. You're the first group to get it. Alright, I know that you guys are done when you're completely still. When your group is completely still and everyone's holding hands.
Kumaya.
Well, I think so.
Oh, okay, are you guys?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not fully convinced that this is the point.
I think we're good. Just let's
Alright, great. Alright, good job. So, now, okay, so now, I want you all to get in groups of 7 and make a square. 7 square. Get into groups of 7, whichever 7 people, make a square. 7 square. Anyone with something? That's like a rectangle. It's a very loving. Alright, you're an action person. Just join the group. Just join the group.
I'm sorry.
Wait, is this the corner?
That's the corner. That's one corner.
You have me in here, you have more people now. No, but I'm in already. No, I'm few of us. I'll just
Here, come over here and lengthen the side maybe a little bit.
But a square is gonna, a square has to have equal size.
Two person per side. So we're a side, and then you
you come over here and there, beside me, and then you two will be there, right? Yeah.
you gotta stretch.
Because it's not thin. Yeah, you're making us square.
Alright, are you all done?
Now we
Okay.
you're gonna say,
Okay, 4. Are your sides equal?
Yes.
Let's see the
Totally equal. It's perfect.
Okay, good job, good job.
You're like so not satisfied.
No, but it's still not, it doesn't work.
You did it. Yeah. I think like that.
Stay right there.
Oh, wait, look at that.
We just have to make it, what if we just make a square with our feet?
Why don't you just spread out?
All right. Are you all done?
What are she?
4 equal sides?
2, 3.
All right.
Okay. Is it
You all
even
are 4
possible?
equal sides?
Yes. We need one more. Yeah, that would be 7.
Okay, 3. All right, great. Relax, everyone. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna make this way harder.
No.
You guys have to do it in complete silence.
We got this.
So I'll like give you an easy one for this one, because it's hard. Get with in groups of 3 and make a circle.
Natalie, you need one?
Okay. This should be as much as 4 times.
Okay. All right, good job. I like how you all are choosing different ways to make circles. Just take a look around at your compadres. All right, now, that was easy, right? Not so bad, great. Now get into groups of 5 and make a trapezoid. This shape. This shape. That's easy. A trapezoid. So can everyone see it?
5.
So it's a short side, 2 equal sides, and a long side.
Why are you guys doing separate? How many groups?
Groups of 5.
No talking, right?
No talking. That's right. No talking. Groups of 5. So you just join someone else's group. So you 3 just join any group. Trapezoid. As quietly as possible. Without talking, if possible. All right. Are you all done? Okay. What am I looking at? Who's the top? You the top? Yeah, you just out double me Oh, okay, I see now. Okay. You guys done? Oh, nice work, girl. You were the top?
Is it long or top? I thought it was short.
All right, it's okay. All right, great job, everyone. One more shape. This is the hardest of all. Lightning bolt. It's like open. Oh, groups of 4. Oh, let's say groups of 8. Groups of 8.
Okay, 3.
And you can remember that you can do things besides holding hands. You try to stand shoulder to shoulder.
You need another 2.
Down.
2 more.
One more.
One more here.
Remember silently. That's okay if you guys are just short. Okay. So I'm groups of 8. Figure out how to use everyone. All right, I'll know that that you're done when your group is completely still. Wait, one more question, I forgot something. Are you guys done? Like a 3D version. Good job. Are you guys? Oh, okay. It's like impressionistic, like Picasso.
Abstract.
Or like the Salvador Dali or something, like drooping. Are you in the group? Yeah. Where are you at? Okay. All right, good job, good job. All right, give yourself a hand. Awesome. All right, so one more question, then I'm gonna hand it over to Julia. One more question is that, as we're thinking about today's themes of depending on each other, identifying and responding to challenges, and forming safety together, what thoughts, strategies, or ideas come to mind after playing these games? Yeah.
New ways to do like what you just did.
New ways. And which one is that? What does that relate to? Which one? Depending on one another.
Responding to the challenge.
Okay.
It causes you to think more.
So finding different ways to do things.
Yes.
Give me an example of that.
Okay, so our group a while ago, we used our bodies to make the zigzag. But just a while ago, I thought in my head, we could have like 2 people here, 3 in a line there, and 2 more beside. So that's like after the fact thinking. Like,
Yeah.
So thinking out of the box, outside the box.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
It will go on the first one, and I feel like effective communication is key
Okay.
to being able to depend on each other. If you don't communicate what you want.
Hang on a second. Can everyone hear? Can everyone hear? Speak up.
Sorry. So go to the first one. I feel like effective communication is key. If you're not able to communicate with your partner effectively, they won't know what you want, and they won't know how to do what you want.
And what were some of the ways that we've practiced communicating this last hour?
The leader, follow the leader.
So with your eyes, following people with your eyes.
Your hands, listening.
Was there any talking? Did we give people directions?
Yeah.
Okay. So talking, listening, moving, signaling with your body. Okay. What else?
Sometimes as a leader, you just step down because if you have prior knowledge, prior experience, you just observe and let somebody else take my hand. Like, okay, what do I do? Yeah, I know how to make a service.
And which one does that fall under?
Identifying
Okay.
and challenge.
Okay. So following, like figuring out when to lead and when to follow, and cooperating, right? Okay.
Well, and also being very aware of what's happening around you and understanding what's happening in the landscape. The landscape in this room, but taking it to the bigger picture that we were talking about earlier in the political moment.
right? Like how do we move and react to a particular climate, right? Where some folks are feeling under attack, some folks are feeling hopeful, right? But in all this work, we're trying to bring folks together, towards, making some kind of progression. Yeah. What else? Any thoughts or ideas or strategies that come to mind around forming safety for one another? Forming safety together?
When we're doing the tapping, but you have to be very mindful. The other person in my corner had a camera, so she was like, you can do whatever you want. Like she couldn't play, so I was like, this is do it softly. Just.
So taking care of each other as we are in these activities.
Giving permission to be touched. Like the partner I had, I was something on his feet, and
Yeah.
we stepped forward, but we take it. We were dancing.
Yeah, that's right. Asking and giving permission, that's great. Some other people who haven't heard your voices yet. What are some ideas that are kind of popping up around these big themes that we talked about at the very beginning? What, if anything, are you seeing in the games we played that tie into these things? Yes.
Pushing each other, trying to unbalance, but at the same time, the safety was the key, not to fall someone or push harder.
So taking care of one another, even if we might be in conflict, physical conflict, right? There's a certain level of taking care of each other. Or taking risks, right? Leaders who have to step out and take risks and being vulnerable, but folks having their back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. What about the leader game? What was that? Like, how might that be tie into these things?
You have to identify who to follow, how to follow. You also have to be careful of that. In the second part of the game, you have to be careful not to give yourself away. If you were the leader, or if you were the follower, not to give the leader away. Also, so that's like responding, sensing to a challenge. Like, meaning that you have to, like, you said you have to have the leader's back.
Yeah. So being mindful of protecting one another, right? We're like, our job is to follow the leader, but we also don't want to make sure the purpose is protection. We want to make sure that we're being safe together as a community. Cool. Yeah.
Being creative, diligent, and patience. Because I'm waiting for somebody to clap, and I'm like, so you have to be generate kind of patience.
Okay. And where does that fall under?
Well, the challenge is because regardless how much of leadership you will know or not know, you need to have that patience to wait for somebody to make a move if you follow it.
And creativity and how you respond.
Creativity.
That's right. Cool. All right. So we're gonna switch gears. Cool. So why don't we make a little bit of, we can sit down for that. I know folks have been standing for a while, but let's not like do a straight line. Maybe we could do a half circle. Pull in. Or whole circle, yeah. Or come on in this way. This is like this looks like that lightning bolt, y'all, right? Or I don't know what shape, y'all are trying to channel me here. All right, so I'm gonna hand out one piece of paper for both of you, for you and your neighbor to share. You joining us? All right. All right, you're gonna share with your neighbor. All right, so Melanie or Mel is passing around a poem by Langston Hughes. Are any of you all here familiar with Langston Hughes? Yeah, do you want to tell me a little bit about what you know? Anything that you might know about who he is?
I remember reading his poems a few years ago, and you know I like his honor to share with you.
Well, you read them here in school, so he's definitely someone who has been read, his poetry has been shared, and studied. Anything else anyone want to share that they know about Langston Hughes? Anyone not know who Langston Hughes is? Okay. Nicole? I've got bad eyes. Yes.
Langston Hughes came about in some revolution, Harlem Renaissance. and he spoke of the negativity experienced, discrimination, and political abuse experienced by African Americans during his time.
That's right.
He was biracial and had conflicts with his father, why his father didn't want to stay in America, but he, being an American, being raised there, he decided he didn't want to leave, but he would try and stay and, you know, make the best of it, trying to help people see his ways and contribute by writing and giving his opinions.
Yeah, that's actually great. So Langston Hughes was someone who had a very complicated relationship with the country where he was born, and that he called his own. You know, he had a very complicated relationship with America because he felt very much as a Black American, who was a descendant of slaves, and also the descendant of slave masters. He had a very complicated relationship with this idea of this country that promoted freedom, but his experience growing up, he was born in 1902 and died in 1967, so his experience was often in contradiction to this ideal, right? So a lot of his writing, thank you Nicole, that was great, a lot of his writing really did talk about this idea of America and sort of like problematizing, you know, sort of what he saw and his experiences and how that didn't necessarily fit. So, so Langston Hughes was a poet, he was a novelist and a playwright. He was born in Missouri, but spent most of his time here in New York City. He's uptown in Harlem. And a lot of leaders, we've been talking about this political moment, right? And so a lot of what we've been thinking about in terms of leadership in the mainstream media has been, you know, these guys on Capitol Hill, they all kind of seem to look alike, they all seem to be the same gender, at least the new flock who's coming in. So we've been thinking a lot about political leadership every time we turn on the TV, but Langston Hughes was an artist. He was a leader in a cultural arts revolution called the Harlem Renaissance. And a lot of his work and a lot of his art was visionary, right? Something that is very much a trait of a leader, you know, offering this alternative vision of what could be. He is someone who in his art took a lot of risks. We talked about risks and forming safety, but he's someone who took a lot of risks and speaking truth to power and talking about issues that for a Black man in his time in the 1920s to 1960s is when he was most active as a writer. It was a really big deal. You know, people didn't come out of pocket and write as he did. And in fact, he was the type of poetry that he wrote was started to be thought of as jazz poetry. Jazz music, even in the 1930s, was very radical and revolutionary, if you could even imagine, right? A lot of times we think about that as old folks music, but it was a very radical sound at the time. So we're going to read this piece. It's called Let America Be America Again. And this was written in 1935. It might have, the name might sound a little familiar, or sound like something that we've been hearing a lot in the public consciousness lately. Make America Great Again, right? This is not, he and Trump, I don't think, share the same political ideas or platforms. They might disagree.
they might disagree if they were in a room together. So I'm going to read this poem, and then what we're going to do is think a little bit about, you know, how this resonates with you, and connect it back to what we're talking about in terms of our political moment, and just thinking about, you know, leadership within this political moment. And then we're going to do put up a gallery walk and put it on the wall. There's 4 different stanzas from the poem. And then we're just going to have you all gather to the stanza that you think resonates with you in whatever way. Have a quick conversation, and we may, if we have a little time permitting, do a little body art. No body painting, just body art. Choreography, if you will. All right, so this is called Let America Be America Again. Let America be America again. Let it be the dream it used to be. Let it be the pioneer on the plain, seeking a home where he himself is free. America never was America to me. Let America be the dream the dreamers dreamed. Let it be that great strong land of love, where never kings connive, nor tyrants scheme, that any man be crushed by one above. It never was America to me. Oh, let my land be a land where liberty is crowned with no false patriotic wreath, but opportunity is real and life is free. Equality is in the air we breathe. There's never been equality for me,
nor freedom in this homeland of the free. Say, who are you that mumbles in the dark? And who are you that draws your veil across the stars? I am the poor white, fooled and pushed apart. I am the Negro bearing slavery scars. I am the red man driven from the land. I am the immigrant clutching the hope I seek and finding only the same old stupid plan of dog eat dog, of mighty crush the weak. I am the young man full of strength and hope, tangled in that ancient endless chain of profit, power, gain, of grab the land, of grab the gold, of grab the ways of satisfying need, of work the men, of take the pay, of owning everything for one's own greed. I am the farmer, bondsman to the soil. I am the worker sold to the machine. I am the Negro, servant to you all. I am the people, humble, hungry, mean. Hungry yet today, despite the dream. Beaten yet today, oh pioneers! I am the man who never got ahead, the poorest worker bartered through the years. Yet, I'm the one who dreamt our basic dream in the old world while still a serf of kings, who dreamt a dream so strong, so brave, so true, that even yet its mighty daring sings, and every brick and stone, and every furrow turned, that's made America the land it has become. Oh, I'm the man who sailed those early seas in search of what I meant to be my home, for I'm the one who left dark Ireland's shore, and Poland's plain, and England's grassy lea, and torn from black Africa's strand I came to build a homeland of the free. The free? Who said free? Not me. Surely not me. The millions on relief today? The millions shot down when we strike? The millions who have nothing for our pay? For all the dreams we've dreamed, and all the songs we've sung, and all the hopes we've held, and all the flags we've hung. The millions who have nothing for our pay, except the dream that's almost dead today. Oh, let America be America again, the land that never has been yet, and yet must be, the land where every man is free. The land that's mine, the poor man's, Indians, Negroes, me, who made America, whose sweat and blood, whose faith and pain, whose hand at the foundry, whose plow in the rain, must bring back our mighty dream again. Sure, call me any ugly name you choose. The steel of freedom does not stain. From those who live like leeches on the people's lives, we must take back our land again. America, oh yes, I say it plain. America never was America to me, and yet, I swear this oath, America will be. Out of the rack and ruin of our gangster death, the rape and rot of graft and stealth and lies, we, the people, must redeem. The land, the mines, the plants, the rivers, the mountains, and the endless plain, all the stretch of those great green states, and make America again. So what do you all think of that poem? Just any kind of quick thoughts of how that resonated for you, and thinking about what we've been discussing today so far, and maybe in some of the other sessions you all have done. Yeah.
Well, I'm not ignorant, and this poem is from
1935.
It would almost be a reflection of still what is happening today. So, sad.
Yes. I really returned a lot and a lot of courage to write this.
Yeah, it took a lot of courage to write something like this, yeah.
I believe that I feel like he was trying to be a leader, he was trying to be an example, he was trying to be, he was trying to identify the problems and try to see and make people aware of what's going on. I hope I see the challenge.
I mean, even the last stanza was almost like a call to action, right?
Yeah.
Out of the rack and ruin, make America again. Any other immediate reactions? How do you all think, and Nicole touched on this a bit, how does this relate to this political moment that we were talking about today when we started?
Because that's a saying that we hear a lot today, make America great again. But when has it been great? Was it when they had slavery on, or is it now that they want to ban, make a wall and just exclude everybody else? When has it been great? And it's just like, it's such a powerful word because it can relate to today. It's very classic in that sense.
Other thoughts?
So what we're going to do, I think I mentioned there's 4 stanzas around the room. So just take about a couple of minutes, get up, and walk before you get up. Just walk around, and I just picked 4 randomly that kind of spoke to me. And if there's a particular word or even the meaning of the entire stanza that moves you in some way, or if it's just kind of interesting and you want to sort of sit with it, just stay in that area, and those will be our small groups, and we're going to have just a brief discussion and do our little choreography. That was yeah, so get up and take a look at the stanzas, and then when you found someone that was interesting, just stay there, and then we'll talk a bit in our groups.